Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to the big night. It is League 1, Season 16. It's bowl season, and first up, we've got for you the big game, the national title, number 2 Air Force taking on the reigning champions, number 1 Syracuse Orange. Later tonight, we will have the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. But, that's dessert for you with a little bit of Navy and a little bit of Ohio. But this is the main event. The Air Force Falcons, undefeated, winners of the MAC, having gone through a number of other user teams, will take on the Syracuse Orange, trying for both the three-peat and the longest winning record in League 1 history. We're going to take a quick look at the Air Force Falcons, a powerful team, both sides of the ball. The head coach of the Syracuse Orange is going to take a quick look at that roster for us before we get kicked off. Coach Spectre.
Greetings, fans. Taking a quick look here at the Air Force Falcons. They are led by an outstanding redshirt sophomore quarterback. He's an 89 overall with 88 awareness, excellent athleticism, good throwing power and accuracy, making plays all over the field, 28 touchdown passes to 11 interceptions with 3,000 yards passing, as Air Force has ushered in a much more balanced attack this year. But he does scramble. He does involve himself in option runs to the tune of almost 900 yards, along with 14 rushing touchdowns. Definitely an impact player, definitely the linchpin of the offense, and the player to watch for the Falcons, number 10, Cook. At halfback, Jason Reed, the starting halfback, is backed up by Michael Robinson. He's the fullback. He actually rates out as a better halfback than fullback. He lines up as HB2 sometimes, and fullback when not, as an 82. Heavily involved in the running game, which is still very active for the Falcons, along with Brian Merriman, Rogers, and Taylor, both contributing about 50 yards, and Merriman, for his part, almost 90. The tight end position, an excellent player, but not heavily utilized. He gets about 20 yards a game. The offensive line from left to right, Jennings, the 86 left tackle, an 88 Savoy senior left guard. Keenan out with an injury. He will not play. Hanson, the guard, lines up at center. He's got lower awareness, and he reduces their depth along the offensive line. And they have two All-Americans, members of the first and second team All-Americans. Stanley Hubbard III, a 94 right guard, and Jackson McDowell, a 90 right tackle. The two All-American cinder blocks on the right side of the Air Force offensive line. Defensively, excellent. The Falcons, Jamal Hines playing left end as an 89 with excellent speed. Jermaine Clark is out with an injury, but Beard, an excellent backup as an 89, and he will be playing at right end. Kamakani Crosby, the star of the defensive line, a 97 defensive tackle. He has excellent awareness, excellent play recognition, and fantastic pass rushing skills from the D tackle position. Third and long, not a situation you want to be in against the Falcons, especially given that the linebacking core, a senior 83, a senior 99, Tim McClendon, more on him in a second, and Kieran Johnson, an 89, all excellent in pass coverage and fast, athletic linebackers. They are quarterbacked, of course, by Tim McClendon. He is a fantastic specimen at middle linebacker, one of the best in the country, certainly a leading candidate for the best in pass coverage. Fantastic athleticism and coverage skills in the 80s, along with his 90-plus awareness and play recognition. The secondary, Austin Deason is a 90, Robinson is an 88, Morton is an 84, all of them quick, all of them with fantastic awareness and excellent play recognition skills, excellent catching for those stray passes. Buck Murray, a human being at free safety, 85 as a weak point in the secondary. Not very promising. That's because the strong safety, Gary Mossop Jr., on a lot of preseason All-American lists. He's an impact player, made first team All Mountain West Conference. As Coach Ninja stated, Air Force winners of the Mountain West Conference this year, defeating a user for the second year in a row to win back-to-back Mountain West championships. That does it for the lineup for the Falcons. We'll take, because it is the national championship, a very extremely quick look at Air Force's schedule, because it bears mentioning that the Falcons have given up 20 points only twice this year. Recently against Boise State and a user in the conference championship game. But plenty of weeks, dominant performances, and performances where the defense really stood tall. So Coach Ninja will get a little bit more into the stats when we get into kickoff, which we are now doing for the national championship. We're going to obviously hope to avoid turnovers. We want to get through the first quarter unscathed and be in a position where we have something to fight for the last 3 quarters of this football game. We're going to try to win the turnover battle, and we have way too many players playing in their last game wearing the navy and orange, Tenevasa among them, but 9 out of 11 starters on offense and multiple starters on defense. Many players that have been 2, 3, 4-year starters. It's the end of an era. We'd like to go out winners. Without any further ado, we'll turn it over to the voice of Syracuse football, Coach Ninja, for this exciting affair.
Thank you, Coach. As you can see, both teams well rated, both teams peaking in, 97 overall, 99 overall. Both teams, really at the peak of their game. 99 defenses on both sides. The only real difference is the 95 offense from the Falcons. As you can see here, that's of course a thing that's interesting to see. You have the 2 teams in the national title game are the number 1 and number 2 teams in points against. So if they're telling you defense wins championships, they're right. Defense also gets you to championships with these 2 teams. Both teams in the top 5 in rush defense, in the top 3 in total defense. It's the pass defense of the Syracuse Orange that is the outlier at 45. Similarly, the Air Force Falcons and the Syracuse Orange both top 5 in points scored per game. Air Force an even 24 and 26 run to pass. Syracuse much more run heavy at 4th to 44th in the passing game, 2nd and 11th overall in yards, but both well over 470 yards per game. That is a rule that is in the bylaws somewhere that would have to be dusted off. I do believe the number of consecutive national titles before things get investigated by the Balance Commission is 4. But as I said, that's something deep in the bylaws that we would have to investigate. But as you can see, interestingly enough, Fran Tarkenton being highlighted because he is 4 for 4 with 19 yards this season. But Champ Bailey and Dave Butts at 96, 94 overall, really showing who plays this season. Yes, Leon. I'm glad you are amused, but we totally do. We do, in fact, because when we started this in season 1, we had a lot of players who hadn't played a lot and said, hey, this sounds like a great idea, but also we have one player who is Coach Spectre who taught the rest of us to play. So we were concerned that, like, hey, we need some rebalancing if, it takes us a while to catch up to Coach Spectre. Now, the rule has never been invoked. The mercy rule at schools has never been invoked in 16 seasons. No one's won 3, let alone 4. But it's something that people were concerned about, and we dealt with it, and we legislated, and we talked it through. So, yeah, it totally exists. Now, on the other side of the ball for Air Force, the top players, Hines, who's having a great time, despite, I believe, being the second left end, because the primary one is injured, and Cook and Beard really showing off who's getting the numbers, despite the fact that we know that there are a number of 93s and 99s that are not being shown here. These are the guys who are making the hits, obviously, with 16 and 10 tackles apiece for the ends. That's not usual. It's a bright, sunny day here. Yeah, looks like we are playing the national title game in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl.
There has been hype. There has been talk. There has been anticipation. It is time for all of those things to end. The final moments before kickoff. And tonight, one of these,
and it's going to be Air Force versus Syracuse. Season 16 national title on the line. I have to ask, Leon, what's your rooting interest tonight? Because I could see you going either way. Oh, you're right.
One of the most storied legacies in the history of college football.
I started my coaching career, I had a dream. And every decision that I made, that I will be the head football coach at Syracuse University. Undefeated, untied.
1959 national champions.
Syracuse has scored an undefeated season, and the team carries Ben Schwartzwalder off the field.
It's going to be the greatest victory that you kids have ever had.
Dozens of the most prolific and impactful players in the game. The first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy. 6 members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. 53 All-America selections.
We need to make this place the hardest place to play in the country. We need you. We need everyone. This is our state, our town, our team, and we gotta win now. Go Orange!
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia. This is League 1 NCAA football.
Don't you let anyone steal
Michael Schumacher takes it out of the end zone for 25 yards.
1989. This is Syracuse football.
Indeed, Leon. Well, I will say that your broadcast tonight so far has been brought to you by Scotch and Rocks. So far, whiskey sponsoring both the Air Force Falcons and your broadcaster. As we see 5 wide receivers come out for Syracuse, the Falcons having won the toss and elected to defer. Lofton has to leap for it, gets 4 yards, and is immediately tackled.
But they could set some records along the way. I mean, that's secondary to the real work. First of all, you want to win the football game.
The commissioner's office has asked the broadcast to highlight the number of prominent coaches from around the FBS who have been able to make it and are watching this game from the commissioner's box. We have here the coaches of Fresno State, of Indiana University, of the Buffalo Bulls. It looks like the head coach of Mississippi State has stepped out to the restroom, but thank you very much, all for attending this important national title game. And yes, I was using both the tumbler you got me and a very large ice cube from the tray that you got me. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Spectre wants to say, Leon, that he is a fan of your big ice cubes. Tanuvasa in the eye, 4-3 from the Falcons, 35-yard line, 1st and 10. It's a handoff to Metcalf. He goes left to the left tackle. Second and 5 now on the 40. I will say it's the pregame show was brought to you by Leon, because I have already finished that whiskey, and I'm not going to have another by the time my game starts, because I want to be level-headed by then. But definitely tonight's pregame show brought to you by longtime viewer Leon Foucault, a representative of the U.S. Air Force. Lofton comes in motion. Tanuvasa keeps it. Lofton blocked downfield, but Tanuvasa clean, runs down the sideline, stopped after a 32-yard gain. That's a great run there to read what was open and run for it out to the right with a motion wide receiver option. First and 10 now from the 28-yard line inside Falcon territory. Well, you really should, Leon. I endorse them mightily. Metcalf comes in motion from the right slot. He takes the handoff and runs up the middle. It's 5-yard gain on first down.
Second and 5 coming up here. Ball on the 23-yard line.
Second and 5 now. We see two tight ends on the right, one flanked out, one behind the tackle. Tanuvasa scrambles out. He's got space. It's an 11-yard run to about the 12-yard line. Yes, I believe I went to a party at his place when I was in town for your big to-do.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 12.
Tanuvasa once again in the eye. Doesn't like the look, scrambles out. The fullback puts his hand up saying, I want it. And Tanuvasa's like, no, turn around and block, dummy. Second and 2 now from the 5.
And this is the 8th play of the drive.
Shotgun normal, halfback weak, 4-down linemen from the Falcons, well spread out. Right end well outside the left tackle. Two linebackers, but they're in the paint of the red zone. Metcalf gets the handoff and just powers through. Fantastic run blocking. It's the first points of the game at 3:47 remaining in the first. Syracuse puts up the extra point, and just over halfway through the first, it's a 7-0 game. Air Force about to get their first possession. Deep into the end zone, no touchback. Oh, sorry, the touchback, because no return is possible.
So let's see what the offense can do.
The Falcons coming out in 4 wide and a single back, 3 wide receivers on the left, and the Orange come out in a 4-3, and it's Brian Merriman, the #1 wide receiver for the the Falcons, who gets 13 yards on the right to left slant.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on their own 38.
Reed in the backfield, still 4 wide. Cook to the sideline, and the check down is out of bounds, so that's going to be an incompletion of the game for Cook. First incompletion of the game for Cook, I should say. 5 wide receivers, bunched up. Green at the feet of the quarterback, but Merriman gets 4 yards before being pushed out of bounds on 2nd and 10. It's going to be 3rd and 6.
From their own 42-yard line, it's 3rd down. They spread the field in the gun with 5 wide receivers. Now he tries to buy some time.
And Derek Cook gets 6 yards, and they call that enough. After breaking 2 tackles, it's the 3rd man. Classic movie. Great movie. Who brings him down? Wide receiver Justin Taylor has to come back for it, and he gets 2 yards before being tackled immediately. I am sure Coach Spectre appreciates your support, Brack, as he plays defense against the Air Force Falcons on the 50-yard line, 2nd and 8.
Ball on the 50-yard line.
Malik Rogers, 26 yards to the sideline.
I got to tell you, as a defensive coordinator, you're blitzing and you're taking some chances. And it's one thing to blitz and to get to the quarterback and everybody high fives and gets excited. But if you blitz and you don't get home, as they say, which means hitting the quarterback, you're leaving your defensive backs one-on-one in coverage. And if you don't get to that quarterback,
1st and 10 now from the 24-yard line. Math, it's hard. Adkins this time on the right to left slant, 15 yards and a 1st down. 1st and goal now from the 9.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line. They put everyone up on the line.
They hand it off to Reed, who has a wide open lane, 9 yards and a touchdown.
Great call by the offensive coordinator.
big time play, taking that ball all the way in. Maybe the defense wasn't expecting a run.
Here comes the kicker to try to tie this game up.
A fantastic about 2 minutes and 40-second drive from the Air Force Falcons to tie the game.
8-play, 75-yard drive, and they come away with a touchdown. They get a tie game at 7-7. Has the ball all teed up, and he's ready to kick this one off.
Schumacher deep in the end zone again.
All of this one, great kick. He's to the 10.
Gets to about the 14.
At the 13.
The last time we saw this offense on the field, they drove the length of the field. When you think back to what that defensive coordinator tried to do, he tried to change some things up, but nothing seemed to work. It's going to be interesting to see.
Hand off to Metcalf.
And he's tackled at
Secondary comes in, stops him after a gain of 3.
second down and 7 coming up here. Ball on the 17.
It's a shotgun ace, 2 tight ends flanking the offensive line. Metcalf is open.
And he's looking for more.
He gets 10 yards and is tackled out of the backfield on the halfback pass.
First and 10. Ball on their own 27.
Shotgun normal, halfback weak, a 3-3 stack from the defense. Tanuvasa keeps it on the read option, and he gets 8 yards running up to his blockers
Guy behind center that can really do it all.
downfield.
The dual threat, he can hurt you with his feet and his arm. With this guy, it's PYP. Pick your poison. It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. He scrambled. Pressure coming.
And Tanuvasa gets a 1-yard gain and is pushed out of bounds. It's 3rd and 1 now from the 36. 4 seconds remaining in the quarter. We'll see if they get a playoff. Looks like they're not even trying to break the huddle.
A tight game so far, and we get one step closer to finding out who will be number 1. We can only hope the second quarter is as good as the first.
First and 10, sorry, 3rd and 1 now here from the 37-yard line. Handoff to Wycheck, the fullback. He gets 6 yards rumbling forwards and gets the first down. 1st and 10 now from the 42 to begin the second quarter.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on their own 42.
Shotgun split big. 2 tight ends, 2 halfbacks here. Quarterback keeper, and he's stopped in the backfield by Jace Bobo.
A lot of times coaches look to linebackers for leadership on defense. And on that tackle, he showed you why that's the case.
That's a 3-yard loss.
From their own 39-yard
2nd and 13 now. 5 wide receivers. Looks like a quarter from the defense.
receiver.
Tanuvasa scrambling, pursued, and he just throws the ball away.
Some pressure and forced a bad pass.
I think they've been a little bit more aggressive here with their pass rush, and that time it paid off with an incompletion.
3rd and 13 now from their own 39.
Here's the 8th play of the series. They come out in a 5-wide set.
Tanuvasa
He's on the run.
and
It falls incomplete.
throws it into the grass, incomplete on 3rd and 13. Pirouetting and throwing, and it's going to force the punt.
It's the 4th down and a punt.
Morton will be the return man.
It's going to land, and it bounces out of bounds at about the 3. A fantastic punt by Knight.
It's about stressing special teams. That is why a lot of head coaches usually run these units. It's because field position is just so important in the game.
This is the point in the game where you don't
Backed up against their own end zone.
the other guys a reason to feel more confident.
Syracuse calls a timeout.
Just took their first time
Not liking their look against whatever the Falcons came out in.
They've been like a couple of fighters feeling each other out so far. Let's see if they start to open it up a little
It's a
bit more.
pistol here from the Falcons. They hand it off to the fullback, and he loses 2 yards.
Couldn't get those linemen blocked, and they'll lose yards.
Well, here the defensive lineman did a great job at sealing up the hole at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 12 now from the 1.
Second down. This is a scary spot deep in their own territory. They line up in the jumbo set. He's got the corner.
And Jason Reed gets those 2 yards back. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now. On their own 4. And once again, the pistol from the Falcons. It's another handoff to Reed this time, and loses a yard. We call it 4th and 10 now. And it's going to be a punt from the back of the end zone. Fantastic punt and a fantastic defensive stop backed up against the Falcons' end zone. Gets the 3 and out. And now, the orange starting from the Falcons 43.
You always want to go in the locker room with momentum, so as we get closer to halftime, I think we'll see more and more attempts to create big plays.
Tommy Tanuvasa tackled for a loss of 4. Schumacher, out with back spasms, will return soon. 2nd and 14 now.
That we saw go
after that tackle for loss. Tanuvasa scrambles, and he's pushed out of bounds after a loss of 6. It's 3rd and 21 now.
Third down now. They need to get it down to the 33.
And Robinson comes across in front of the receiver, gets a pick, and looks like he's going all the way. Air Force with their first lead of the game on a pick 6.
Son of a bitch! Give me a drink! Son of a bitch! This can't be me! Son of a bitch! If I can't get clean, I'm gonna drink my yeah.
And he hits the PAT. Beck gets set to kick this one away. Excellent kick.
Deep in the end zone. Schumacher already back in the game, but it's a touchback anyway.
So the offense will come back out onto the field, hoping for a little better result than that last pick 6.
This quarterback needs to be a little bit more careful.
Tanuvasa under center in the eye. Tight end on the right.
On play action, defense coming.
Play action, nobody's open. Throws the ball away just before he gets hit. 2nd and 10 now from their own 25.
Somehow he's able to throw the ball away.
From their own 25-yard line. It's 2nd down.
Split big now from the orange. Looking for yards on 2nd and 10. Tanuvasa scrambles out. He's running to the sidelines. He's got the edge. 20-yard run to the sideline. Exactly what they needed on 2nd and 10.
From their own 45-yard line.
1st and 10 now from the 45. Shotgun normal. Hand off to Metcalf. He goes up the gut. He gets a 5-yard gain.
Metcalf gains about 5 yards on the run.
And that is now the halfway marker of the field, as well as being almost a minute past halfway in the quarter. Tommy Tanuvasa 0 yards on the 2nd and 5 quarterback keeper. Tanuvasa scrambles on 3rd and 5, and he gets the first down and a few yards more when he doesn't like any of the options.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 38. Nice run up the middle. Kanavasa picks up about 7 yards on the option keeper.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
Kill! Gunner 3. Safety creep.
Offense lines up in a 5-wide set, and the defense anticipating pass here. Now he tries to buy some time. Here comes the pressure. Fumble, and the ball-hawking safety scoops it up. So the offense turns over the pigskin.
The ball carrier here was just careless in handling the ball. And a great awareness.
Tanuvasa doesn't get down. Ball is out, and he's picked up by Murray. 1st and 10 now from the 19-yard line for the Falcons. They have 28 seconds and 3 timeouts after the turnover. And that's a sack. That's a big, important sack for the first one of the game for Green.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot
Derek Cook scrambles out, and he breaks a couple of different tackles to muscle to 19 yards for the first down. Starts the clock moving under 2 minutes, but it gets the first down for the Falcons. Waiting in the pocket, and Cook throws the ball away. He stops the clock at 1:06.
Much better job of being able to read that defense and make quicker decisions. And especially when the defense starts to get pressure, you've got to either get rid of that football or check it down or take off and run with it.
2nd and 10. Ball on their own 31.
4 wide receivers for the Falcons. Ball on the right hash. Green rushes the quarterback, and the ball goes to Justin Taylor for 4 yards and out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and 6. Stops the clock at 1:03.
From their own 36-yard line. 3rd down. They'll spread the field.
5 wide receivers on 3rd and 6 for the Falcons. Cook likes the look to Reed, the halfback. Stiff arms. It's a 39-yard catch and out of bounds to Reed by Cook. It's the 25-yard line. 55 seconds remain. 4 wide receivers.
Up 7 points.
And Derek Cook comes through for a 9-yard sack. It starts the clock moving. 2nd and 19. And the Falcons hurry up to 4 wide receivers, single back. And Derek Cook comes through, Green comes through again on Cook, back-to-back sacks, pushing it back to 3rd and 27 now for the Falcons. A big defensive play there. Taylor gets 11 yards. It's 4th and 15 now, and Syracuse spends their last timeout to stop the clock as Air Force puts the kicking team on the field. Those 2 sacks saved 4 points. And once again, it's going to be Syracuse ball this time. 30 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. We'll see how aggressive the Orange are before the half. It's in the middle of the end zone. It's not returned. It'll go for the touchback.
comes the offense. No doubt looking to take better care of the ball on this drive.
The game is in danger.
Tanavasa under center in the eye. 30 seconds remaining in the quarter.
But they also need to get a score on the board as well.
Lofton in from the tight end position, 14 yards and out of bounds, costs 5 seconds. 1st and 10 now on the 39-yard line.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 39.
Once again, the eye. And this time, Tommy Tanavasa throws the ball away.
Same play they just called.
Yeah, it was. The defense was ready for it this time.
22 seconds remaining in the half.
5 wide.
Tanavasa leaves the pocket.
He's scrambling.
His men are covered deep, so he runs for it, and he gets about 17 yards, they call it, out of bounds. 15 seconds on the clock. They've crossed the midfield stripe and are now trying to get into field goal range. They have no timeouts, however.
First and 10. Ball on the 44-yard line.
5 wide receivers once again.
Empty backfield. Quarterback in the gun. 5 wide receivers.
Once again, Tommy Tanavasa scrambles and throws it away.
Gets rid of it.
11 seconds now in the half. .44-yard line from the left hash. 11 seconds remain. Play action. Scrambles out.
He's going to scramble.
And once again, the ball is thrown away by Tommy Tanuvasa. Coverage much too tight.
Down now. They need to get it down to the 34. One more play now before we hit halftime, so they'll most likely throw one towards the end zone here.
Lofton with the big 25-yard catch. First down. 2 seconds remain. We see the hurry up. And it looks like, yes, it's a spike. 1 second remains for the kicker for Syracuse to steal a few points before the half after a miracle pass with 6 seconds remaining. It's a 36-yard kick into an oblique wind. Knight puts it up, and he goes right down Main Street for 3 points. It's going to be a 7-point game at the half.
You can feel it in the air tonight as we're only 1 half away from crowning the national champions. Our halftime score, 17-10, Air Force.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis, David Pollack here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. What a terrific first half. This is everything we anticipated this game being, and we're going to be riveted to this game, I feel like, David, in the second half, anticipating a terrific finish.
it's fun. It's living up to the hype every single time. We can't even turn the channel here. We got it on the big screen on the big 60-inch. Yes, it's quite nice, by the way, too. The weather's nice and warm. It's beautiful. Got some chips. We're opening them up a little bit, but great game. Living up to the hype. It definitely feels like both teams are evenly matched. It feels like it can go either way. It feels like it's going to come down to the wire. And the only thing I hope it doesn't come down to is a kicker. Please don't come down to a kick in the end. Both these teams playing great D, playing great O, physical, pounding on each other, making big plays. Don't come down to a finesse kick by like a soccer player, please.
Just about ready to start the second half. We're going to watch all the games around the country, including some coaches who like to sample the surface that they're playing on. I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the cafeteria. You want some turf, some AstroTurf or anything?
Yeah, if they've got some, I'll chew on that in the second half. Here's the second half for you to chew on with Brad and Kirk.
Screw you and your kicker hate. You're an awful person. All right, a quick look at your halftime stats. So the score is 17-10. Syracuse leads in both first downs and total offense by about 87 yards of total offense. Air Force, with only 9 rushing yards on 9 attempts, number that due to sacks. And Syracuse, 21 rushes for 157 and 1 touchdown. Air Force 8 out of 10 through the air for 114 yards. Syracuse 4 out of 11 for 53. Both teams in the middle, 50% and 60% on third downs, showing that both teams are playing pretty damn good defense. The turnovers are 0-2 in Air Force's favor, and that offsets the time of possession at 4 minutes to 12 minutes, which is strongly in Syracuse's favor. Some quick player stats for you. As you can see, Tommy Tanuvasa with a 58.6 rating. That's because of his 4 for 11 completion rating. He's got 53 yards, averages 13.2 on a completion, but he's only got a 36% completion rate, and he's got 1 pick and 1 sack. Air Force's Derek Cook has a 175.7 rating. He's 8 out of 10 for 114. That's 80% with a 14.2 average. He's been sacked 3 times. On the ground, Cook has a positive 1 yard despite being sacked 3 times. He's got 2 positive runs to make up for it, and Reed is 4 for 8. He's being bottled up pretty effectively by the defense, but the offense is not calling his number all that often. The rushing game for Syracuse, on the other hand, Tommy Tanuvasa is 15 for 128. He's, as I said, sacked a couple of times, but also thrown the ball away a number of times. Metcalf is 5 for 23 with a 4.6, and Wycheck, the fullback, with a 6-yard average, but a couple of times not really in the position to rely on Metcalf and Wycheck, which is why Tanuvasa seems to have the numbers. Through the air, Lofton is 3 for 43, Metcalf for 1, a symptom of excellent coverage by the Falcons. Falcons, on the other hand, spreading the ball around much more. Taylor, 3 for 17. Merriman, 2 for 17. Reed is 1 for 39. Adkins, 1 for 15. And Rogers, 1 for 26. Defensively, the middle linebacker, 99, McClendon, with 1 tackle for loss and is the leading tackler. No surprise there, being helped out by Murray and Robinson coming in from the secondary. Mossop Jr. and Bobo as well with tackles. The interception by Robinson. Defensively for Syracuse, London Fletcher leads the way with 4, including a tackle for loss. Green backs him up with his 3 sacks, but nothing else really to speak of. Champ Bailey with 2 tackles and 1 tackle for loss for Manly, also rounding out the top defenders for Syracuse. So we'll resume shortly with Air Force at Syracuse for the national title. Air Force leads and gets the ball to begin the third. We'll see what they can do, ahead by 7. It's anyone's game at this point. Air Force doing an excellent job, but moving the ball quickly. And the story of the game, really, those 2 turnovers by Syracuse, 1 pick, 1 fumble that was recovered by Air Force on a long run by the quarterback, Tanuvasa. And otherwise, a lot of things squarely in Syracuse's favor. But both defenses playing great so far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are with the second half. Number 2 Air Force receiving the ball from number 1 Syracuse. Goes out the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Yeah, he's just got a knack for coming up with a big play. To me, this is just a classic example of just being bigger, faster, and stronger than the guy trying to block him. I don't care if this offensive line uses 2 or even 3 guys to stop him. There's nothing they can do to stop this individual performance that he's putting on display today.
They're ready to begin another drive. Air Force is up 7.
It's a shotgun ace of their own for the Falcons. Cook in the pocket, throws to Robinson, who rolls over a defender, and he gets 30 yards and is tackled.
So on first down, they go to the air and pick up huge yardage.
Well, that was just a well-executed play. They picked a perfect time to stretch the defense with a passing play, and it worked.
From the 45-yard line, first down.
4 wide, single back. And it's Merriman on the short curl. He had a blocker and a touchdown saving tackle at the 4-yard line.
First and goal from the 3. They're knocking on the door. This defense not wanting to give an inch here.
The ace once again. It's a handoff to Reed. He breaks 1 tackle and steps into the end zone.
A short burst for the score.
That's what happens when you can win the war in the trenches down near the goal line.
And with momentum in their favor, Air Force goes down the field in 3 big chunks to stretch it to a 14-point lead here at the beginning of the third.
The score now, 24-10. There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting.
Wide trips versus a 3-3-5 defense. Tanuvasa keeps it on the read option and loses a yard on the ground on first down.
Second down and 11. Ball on their own 24.
5 wide receivers on 2nd and 11. Tanuvasa scrambling out. Space between the defenders. He gets 11 yards, but they call him inches short of the line to gain. Heavy formation here with Tarkenton under center. Hand off to Schumacher, who gets 5 yards and the first down.
Not a lot of razzle-dazzle here, but it gets the job done and picks up the first down.
From their own 40-yard line, it's first down.
1st and 10. Shotgun. Metcalf catches the ball and spins around the linebacker to ensure he adds another 3 yards and a first down to the catch.
But he showed here that you have to be concerned about him as a receiver as well. He's got good hands, and you know he's good in the open field.
1st and 10 now from the 50-yard line. Metcalf has to leap for it as the ball is thrown ahead of him. He gets 4 yards and is tackled. Ricky Sanders gets 4 yards, but he has to come back for it to make it 3rd and 2. Shotgun split. Tanuvasa keeps it. And the safety comes off the blocker. It's a 3-yard loss, makes it 4th and 5. The ball's going to be on about the 44-yard line. Downs still regulated in the postseason, and they're going to spend one here. Tanuvasa scrambles out, gets across the marker into space, thanks to good downfield blocking by the right side wide receiver. He gets a 1st and 10, and that's a big 4th down.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try. Try and try.
Metcalf out of the backfield, once again 10 yards this time to make it 2nd and inches on the 20. Hand off to Metcalf. He goes right up the middle. Another 10-yard gain on the air, through the air, then on the ground for Metcalf. Back-to-back plays for 20 yards. 1st and 10 now from the 11.
Here's the 11th play of the drive.
Shotgun normal, halfback weak, 3-3-5 stack from the defense. Tanuvasa scrambles out. There's space on the left hash. And he gets hit, but after he crosses the line for the touchdown.
When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. Oh my God.
And with the extra point, it's now a 7-point game in Air Force's favor as they get the ball back halfway through the 3rd.
And they can forget about returning this one. Man, both offenses here in this 3rd quarter have been on fire. Time for the defense to step to the forefront a little bit.
Makes you wonder could be one of those games where whichever defense comes up with that stop could be the team that wins the game.
4 wide receivers bunched up this time. Single back in the shotgun. Quarterback scrambles out. He's hit once, he's hit twice, and it's a 2-yard loss on the scramble for Derek Cook.
Have done an outstanding job of being able to make their reads and getting out of their breaks, and the quarterback put the ball right on the mark.
Number 85 slows him down. Number 58 takes him down. Good team tackling there after Cook got out of the pocket. 2nd and 12 now from their own 23.
From their own 23-yard line.
4 wide receivers. 3 of them on the right. 3 down linemen. It's a handoff to Reed, and Green comes through and gets him tackled for loss. It's going to be 3rd and 13 now. A good start by the defense, getting the Falcons to 3rd and long.
Third down and 13.
Cook with time in the pocket. Ooh, and that time ends just before he decides to throw. Dara Brooks comes through with the sack, and that's going to force the 3 and out. A big defensive stop that the Orange needed to stay in this game. Schumacher underneath it at the 44, catches it, takes it to the 45-yard line of the other side. It's a good start, field position-wise, for the Orange. Still down by 7. "45 yards between them and a tie ball game. Ball on the left hash. 3 down linemen. Shotgun wide trips. Handoff to Metcalf. Touched in the backfield, and he returns to the line of scrimmage. It's a no gain on 1st down.
From the 45-yard line. 2nd down.
2nd and 10 now. Tanivasa scrambles out. Decides to keep it. He gets 7 yards, and they call it 3rd and 2 now.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks.
5 wide receivers. 2 down linemen, but 5 men in the box. Tanivasa scrambles, uses the clear out to get downfield, and slides before contact. The last time he pulled that play, he lost a fumble. He slides well before contact this time. Gets the 1st down, moves the ball to the 20-yard line. First and 10 from the 20. Tanivasa taking his time. Tarkenton in the game taking his time. I'm sorry. It's a handoff to Metcalf. He's got good run blocking, and he goes all the way for the touchdown.
by the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
And after the big run by the halfback, we have a tie ball game with 44 seconds remaining in the third.
And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff. He sends this
The ball goes deep. It's going to be a touchback.
and it sails out of the end zone for a touchback for Syracuse. They're having success rushing the passer tonight. This aggressive defense has enjoyed multiple sacks tonight. This offense's best bet seems to be to keep the ball on the ground.
And that's always been a very positive thing. It'll keep the defense honest, and they won't be able to just play the pass.
Well, it's important to play well each and every series, especially when nobody can seem to pull away. A lot of times you'll see teams start to clench up a little bit when games stay close well into the
2 backs in the backfield, 3 wide receivers this time for Air Force. It's play action as Cook decides to go out. He breaks 1 tackle, and he gets 13 yards as he's taken down by the secondary.
from their own 38-yard line.
Silent Gaming says, let's go Orange. Reed now in the backfield by himself. He motions out. Cook flushed. And Malik Rogers gets a 5-yard catch before going out of bounds.
They gain 5 yards out of it. They keep moving the defense back.
From their own 43-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Quarter on 2nd and 5. It's a quick pass to Atkins in the backfield. This time, though, there's lots of defenders around him, and he loses a yard to make it 3rd and 6. And we go into the 4th quarter tied. And that's a sack on 3rd down. That's a huge stop. Schumacher underneath it at the 15. He gets to the 20. The Orange, ecstatic to get the ball back with the game tied. They come out in the shotgun split big, 2 tight ends. A lot of defenders in the box. Tanuvasa keeps the ball, no gain on 1st down.
From their own 25-yard line.
This Air Force team is really good. As we now see the split from the offense. Tanuvasa keeps it. He goes upfield, up the seam. And it's an 8-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Yeah, you and me both. As a rivalry as a rival team for Navy, I do play them with some frequency, but I'm quite glad not to have to go through this Air Force team this year.
So it's 3rd down, and they've got about 2 yards to go.
3rd and 2 now. It's the shotgun Y trips. Hand off to Metcalf. A good push gets him 4 yards and a 1st down. First and 10 now from their own 37.
From their own 37-yard line. 1st down.
Shotgun normal, halfback weak. Ball almost at the left hash. Hand off to Metcalf, a wide lane. Takes a left after the line to go around the linebackers coming down. He gets 7 yards to make it 2nd and 3. Tanuvasa under center in the eye now. Few yards shy the midfield stripe. And the quarterback is covered, but the check down is wide open. The tight end blocks for the fullback well. It's an 18-yard reception. An incredible pass by Tanuvasa to get that off to Wycheck. First and 10 now from the 38-yard line. In the flex bone now, Tanuvasa throws to Metcalf. He gets 6 yards from the slot back. They certainly brought some heat. Well, and it also, like, when the tight end took off on that flag route, he looked like he's going to be wide open if you have the time, but he did not have the time. Tanuvasa having had no time all day ever, because this defensive line for Air Force is very, very fast. And hand off to Metcalf for about 8 yards. Yeah, not only have they been stuffing his jock, as you put it, Coach Siwak, but they've been doing it with 3 or 4 guys. They seem not to need to bring the blitz in order to bring pressure, and that just, you know, if you can do that on defense, you're ahead of the game. So, you know, Air Force having a fantastic defensive game. A fantastic defense for Air Force in general. Absolutely bringing the heat. And they've really only proved vulnerable tonight when the Orange can get the power running game to work and make them have to respect the power running game. 6-yard gain there by Tommy Tanuvasa. It was a run outside the tackle, but it was a read option, and they forced the defense to commit to Metcalf up the gut. So as I said, really the Orange needing to make sure that the power running game is running on all cylinders tonight. 2nd and 4 now from about the 17.5-yard line. Shotgun normal. Looks like a 2-4 from the defense. Another handoff to Metcalf. He gets around one tackle to ensure the first down and a 5-yard gain. 1st and 10 now from the 13. First and 10 now. Ball on the 13, almost at the middle. 5 wide receivers, 2 down linemen. Clock ticking down. Tanuvasa keeps it. And that's a no gain for the quarterback keeper on 1st and 10, trying to fake out the defense, and they're just too quick. You saw the defender there. He took a step back to go into coverage, and then he took a step forward, and even stepping back, he was able to meet Tanuvasa at the line of scrimmage. Second and 10 now from the 13.
This is the 11th play of this drive.
Shotgun, split pick. Less than 2 minutes in the game. Ball to Metcalf. 8-yard catch makes it 3rd and 1. Great job holding on to the ball there by Metcalf.
We're at the 12th play of the drive.
The Orange come out. It's an eye tight 3 down lineman. Looks like a 3-4 defense as Tanuvasa lets the clock tick all the way down. And it's quarterback sneak, and they call that enough. He's got 200 yards rushing. It's 1st and goal now from the 3. But no yard more important than the last one. The clock is live. And moving on the 3-yard line. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Tie ball game, less than 30 seconds. Handoff to Metcalf. He gets no gain. Live clock, 15, 16 seconds. They get the field goal unit out there in a hurry. Clock ticking down. And much to the consternation of the halftime announcers, it does come down to a kicker. It's a 3-point win after coming back from down by 14 points. That's a big, big win. One of the closest in a long time for these Syracuse Orange.
Go ahead and just give us your reflections on this game.
Syracuse made the journey and finished it off with the national championship.
A fantastic turnaround, comeback win for the Orange against an incredible Air Force team. Absolutely deserved to be in the national title, this Air Force team. And they got 2 turnovers early, and the passing game wasn't there for the Orange. So down by 14 points, they had to say, no, we cannot get ahead of ourselves. The passing game is not working. We need to play defense and win this game slowly and on the ground in order to come back, and that's exactly what they did. So they absolutely turned it around to win a great game against number 2 Air Force. A big game for Tainavasa and all of these seniors. Metcalf gone, Bavaro gone, Green gone, all of the big names, all of the guys getting their game balls tonight. I mean, that's the last time. And yeah, they had to do everything to win this game for Joe Gibbs, Coach Spectre, and Syracuse, and they narrowly did it. Dominated in first downs. Air Force getting 24 points with less than 200 yards of total offense. 7 yards total rushing to 288 total rushing, 190 to 113 through the air. 33% on third down. When the Orange got Air Force to third down, they had a great third down percentage. They did not get them to third down all that often. They moved the ball frequently, but great on third down in the second half. Terrible on third down in the first half, only 40% in the first half. It was all second half there for Syracuse. Huge fourth down. That is, so he doubled his rating in the second. He had a 58 rating in the first half.
I think it was like 3 out of 10 or something.
Yes, 3 out of 10. Tainavasa 27 for 200 and needed all of those yards because they only got 88 other yards considering other negative yardage.
And God, Luke Green, I love you. God, I'm gonna miss you. I love you.
So just a game where they needed everything, and at the end they got it, and they got it by 3.
With defense, and he was the reason.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves mention.
Yeah, Green with a fantastic game. Those 4 sacks really key to getting the 2 stops that allowed the Orange to tie the game and then take the lead. So just a phenomenal effort by the defense and by the offense, and just a great game by the Air Force Falcons. I just can't say enough about a really fantastic team that was just all around really, really good. The quarterback broke tackles. The halfback was good when they used him. The wide receivers made catches. The defense brought pressure when they only had 2 down linemen, and great coverage. It really took everything in the kitchen sink to come out at 27-4.
Credit that we had enough of the tank to fulfill that need.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us. This was the first of our doubleheader this evening. National title game. It was the big one. And we've got your amuse-bouche, your dessert, coming up shortly with the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. But For the moment, we'll bask in the glory of the national title, the BCS National Championship. 43 straight wins, 3 national titles for the Syracuse Orange.
Oh, yeah, by the way, 3 in a row, yeah, okay, cool, awesome. Okay, I've already accepted all.
And Coach of the Year going to Joe Gibbs for the three-peat.
It seems so fucking random.
I would. All right. We'll be back in a few minutes, probably 15 or so, with the second game. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome back, sports fans, for Game 2 of this exciting doubleheader action here on this Twitch channel for Bowl Week. We've got the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan. Ford Field, the venue. Coach Ninja's Navy midshipmen coming into the game in the 20s in the rankings, hoping to finish the season as strong as possible, taking on a former user team in the Ohio Bobcats. This is a team that was built by Coach Doc Jocular, has several good players in several good positions. We're going to let Coach Ninja give you the rundown of where they are and what they might be capable of doing.
Thank you, Coach. The Bobcats start off with a quality sophomore quarterback in Nick Hudson. 73 speed is quick, but not amazingly quick, but he's got good agility, acceleration, and his awareness is a solid 74 for a senior. He gets 126 yards a game through the air, and he gets another 57 on the ground, so we need to be worried about the scramble and the option just as much as the pass. The primary offensive motor for these Bobcats is the combination of Godcock and Julian Ross. Now, Godcock a little bit higher rated, but as you can see, he's got 98 yards for 159. So he's only played 6 games, but he's complemented by Ross, who's got 153. But 153 does not divide into 197 divided by 6 is not 153. So he's still getting yards despite Godcock being back. So these two guys are who we're really concerned about. We need to be concerned about whether or not they are either single or halfback, because they could be both. Single or double halfback, because they really could be both. The fullback Ryan is okay, but they're not using him much for understandable reasons. They've got one great wide receiver in Harris who gets 40 yards a game. So that again tells us like they want to run first. Jordan is injured. When he was in, he was never in this season. He got 6 catches in one game and then was out the rest of the season. So, but even like last year, he caught 24 balls. So it's Petty and Cherry, and they're both very, very fast, going to one of the sidelines and one of the slots there. Do they go to Calhoun? No. So it's Petty and Cherry and Harris, and a little bit of Espinosa. The offensive line is relatively human at 86, 83, 82, 85, 79. So we're going to try and take advantage of that and get to the quarterback, get into the backfield against Ross and Godcock. Pee Wee short stack is a very light but very quick left end. So we're going to try and out-muscle him, but not try and outrun him there on the left-hand side. JT Ford is okay. 79. He's a relatively human there at right end. Brown 85 and Brown 81 are the D tackles up the middle. Robinson is 80 as an impact player. Thomas, the middle linebacker, is a 76. Massey is injured. Means Robinson, who's already playing impact, so Mitchell, Devontae Mitchell, is going to have to be the right outside linebacker. Brooks and Hogan are quality corners, and Noob Saibot and Chaz Bush round out a defensive shell that's better than the front 5. So we're going to try and run the ball and out-muscle them and, stay away from that free safety playing linebacker and that safety playing defensive end, and just outmuscle them on the line and not turn the ball over, and that'll be our plan. So that's it.
Thank you, Coach. That sets us up for the second game of our doubleheader. The Little Caesars Pizza Bowl featuring the Ohio Bobcats taking on your Navy Midshipmen. Coach just gave you the rundown of the Bobcats roster leading into this bowl game. Hello, Galaxis. Welcome to Bowl Week, Season 16 of League 1 action. Coach Ninja on the sticks. I am Coach Spectre, the head coach of Syracuse University, giving you the play-by-play for the Midshipmen. They hope to finish the season ranked as highly as possible. A win in a bowl game will go a long way towards that. You see 90, 93, 85 for the Bobcats. Once again, this was a team built up by a user, former coach Doc Jocular, building up the program in Athens, Ohio. There you see the numbers. Ohio coming into the game with a 33rd ranked scoring offense, the 39th ranked defense against the pass, and the 6th ranked rushing attack. They know what they like to do on both sides of the ball. They focus on that. Meanwhile, the Midshipmen coming in with the 69th ranked scoring offense, almost 30 points per game. Defensively, though, the strength of the Midshipmen coming in with 20.9 points per game. That gives them the 8th ranked scoring defense. They have the 2nd ranked defense in total yardage allowed at 262.8. That'll come under fire from the Bobcats. And as well, defensively, the Midshipmen with the 2nd ranked rushing defense at 73 yards a game and the 26th, very high ranking for a user team, 26th ranked passing defense at 189.5 points per game. Looking at the top players for the quote-unquote home team, the Ohio Bobcats, Lacey the leg, Godcock the back, and Noob Cybot making an appearance from Mortal Kombat to play free safety for the Bobcats. On Navy's roster, Rawls the leg for them, having an outstanding career and season. Carter, the right guard, and Garrett, the defensive tackle, providing beef on both sides of the line for the Midshipmen today. A couple of injuries there to report. Massey and Jordan, they'll miss this game for the Bobcats. They were covered in the rundown of the Bobcats lineup by Coach Ninja. These two teams hoping to get a precious bowl victory, a feather in their cap, finish this season with a little bit of extra silverware. We're coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan at Ford Field.
For a live look inside Ford Field, as these two teams have all the toppings as we get set for the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. Thanks for joining us here on the NCAA College Football pregame show. Now
Coming to you live from Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Looks like a packed house today to witness this postseason contest between the 23rd ranked Navy Midshipmen out of Annapolis, Maryland, taking on the 8-5 Ohio Bobcats out of Athens, Ohio. Some last-minute adjustments there by the head coach of the midshipmen, and the middies will receive the kickoff to start the football game. Deep into the end zone it goes. Touchback, the welcome result of the play. And it'll be the 25-yard line, dead center of the field, where Navy will start the football game.
So here comes the offense taking the field for the first time today.
They'll come out with 5 wide receivers facing off against the 3-man front. Hayes in a shotgun set, playing his final game for the midshipmen today. Back to pass goes Reggie Hayes, dumping it off to Richards. Vince Richards picks up 6 yards on the first play of the ball game. Going to be 2nd and 4 from the left hash as the clock begins to move. 7:50 and counting. Coach Ninja wanting to make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Heading into the depth chart for Ohio. Taking a look at what some effects might be on their defense.
Must be Robinson. It must be Robinson who's playing right. And then, so...
Navy taking a look to see where Ohio's best defenders are lining up. They want to make sure they attack this defense as efficiently as possible. Here in the early going of this game, they are trying to access as much information as possible. Now facing 2nd and 4 on the left hash are the midshipmen. They come out in shotgun set. They've got a wide trips formation facing off against 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. Fakes to give up the gut. Quarterback keeps it. Reggie Hayes finds space up the middle of the field. And right across the logo he goes into Ohio territory for a 1st and 10 from the Bobcats' 46-yard line. First and 10 from the 46-yard line. We're here in the first quarter. Just a few seconds elapsed in this football game. It's the opening drive of the game. The midshipmen have the ball just shy of the midfield stripe. Eye tight formation, twin tight end set normally. And up the gut to Bright is the give. He finds running room through the heart of the defense for 6 yards on his first carry. That's going to set up 2nd and 4 from the 48, and now Navy across the midfield stripe.
From the 48-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Shotgun wide trips for the midshipmen. Back to pass goes Hayes, looking over the middle to McKinley. Todd McKinley with the 2-yard reception. That's going to set up 3rd and 2. We'd like to remind our viewers that we do in this league play on extremely difficult sliders. Jared's black slider set from Operation Sports.
They come out in an empty backfield.
With these 2- and 3-star programs. Navy now with a spread set, facing off against 3 down linemen for the Bobcats here on this important 3rd and 2 in the early going. The senior, Reggie Hayes, takes the snap in the shotgun set. Over the middle he goes. Vince Richards able to hang on to the ball. Contact immediately after the catch, but he hangs on for the 4-yard gain. Going to be a fresh set of downs for the midshipman offense at the 42-yard line of the Bobcats as we approach the 5.5-minute mark.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 42-yard line.
High, tight set, twin tight ends for the midshipmen. 3-3-5 defense for the Bobcats. Up the gut to Bright, and Joe Bright picks up an important 3 yards. You do that 3 times in a row, you got a good chance of getting a first down. So far, so good as Navy approaches 2nd and 7 from the Ohio 40-yard line. The ball in between the hashes, a little bit to the left side, as Navy breaks the huddle with 2 halfbacks and 2 tight ends. Still a 3-3-5 set for Ohio. Shotgun split big, the formation for the midshipmen. Fakes the give, takes it up the gut, picks up 4 yards. Now 3rd down, 3 yards to go. A very approachable down and distance, but a key one with the ball resting at the 35-yard line. Here in the early going of this bowl game, closing out season 16 of League 1. Navy in a shotgun set. Senior quarterback Reggie Hayes, playing in his final game, surveys the field. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. Back to pass goes Hayes, quickly over the middle to Henry, and Reggie Henry, the young stud tight end for the midshipmen, coming up with a big 9-yard catch. That's going to be a fresh set of downs. The ball is going to be spotted at the 26-yard line. Exactly at the right hash. Navy breaks the huddle. They've got the shotgun set. Safety creeping up for Ohio. Read option play. Up the gut they go to Green. Wesley Green picks up a yard. That's his first carry of the day. It's going to be 2nd and 9. The ball claimed to still be at the 26. Navy breaks the huddle. Coming out with the eye-tight formation. 3 down linemen for Ohio. Man in motion right to left. Hayes throws it to the right side. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. 9 yards to go. The ball at the 26-yard line. Deserves to be said that the midshipmen have built their program on the backs of excellent tight ends. Should be no surprise to see them employ multiple different 2 tight end sets. But now on 3rd and 9, that seemingly no longer an option. And Navy breaks the huddle with 5 receivers out of the fold. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. Hayes takes the snap, looks downfield, throws it, and it's complete to Vince Richards. Vince Richards, a massive 21-yard catch. He's got 3 for 31. And as has been his signature all season, Vince Richards coming up with another big play for the midshipman offense. Now 1st and goal from the 5, 2:40 remaining in the first.
It's 1st down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here.
Navy in the shadow of their end zone, trying to put points on the board. Breaking the huddle with a shotgun wide trips. Ohio with multiple defenders in the box. The give up the gut to Green. Green meets defenders, but not before he picks up 3. That's half the distance needed. Going to be 2nd and goal from about the 2.5 when we have the next play. So far, 6 minutes elapsed on this opening possession. With these difficult sliders, we do play on 8-minute quarters. And so far, so good on this time-consuming drive by the midshipmen on the opening possession, trying to take away the entire first quarter. Breaking the huddle with the eye tight. 3 down linemen for Ohio. Bright on the give up the gut. He picks up 1. Now going to be 3rd and goal from about 1.5 yards. Midshipmen giving their offensive line a chance to take a breather. They need a big push here on 3rd and goal. Eye tight, twin tight ends. Trying to muscle their way in the end zone. It goes up the gut and it's good. Leonard Scott finds his way in the paint. Navy takes the early lead, 6-0.
Nice time to use the full. Mix it up.
A time-consuming drive that took 7:07 off the clock. And now with 53 seconds left in the first quarter, Navy kicks off. Ohio gets their first possession of the ball game, trailing 7-0, approaching the second period. Deep into the end zone it goes, out of the back of the end line. Travels the football. That means Ohio takes over at their 25. They will assume possession for their first drive. Navy having succeeded excellently on theirs. Navy coming out with the 4-4 defense. Tackling, taking on the flexbone, up the gut to Ryan, and Phil Ryan, the fullback, picks up 7 as Ohio starts the game with the flexbone set. Give to the fullback up the gut, bringing up 2nd and 3 from the 32-yard line.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on 2nd down.
Navy comes out with 4 down linemen. Ohio in a pistol formation. Men in motion, left to right. Give up the gut to Godcock. And Godcock is stumbled at midfield. Otherwise, he could have gotten another 20 or 30 yards at the very least on his first carry. It's good for 24 yards. It's across the midfield stripe, and Ohio has a fresh set of downs in Navy territory. 44-yard line to be exact. It'll be inside the hash marks when the Bobcats break the huddle.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 44.
44-yard line of the midshipmen is where the ball rests. Ohio comes out in a wingbone set. Navy responding with a 4-4 defense. They run the option to the left side, and the quarterback keeps it. Nick Hudson picks up 10 on the carry. That might be the final play of the first quarter. It's good for a first down off to the left side. Ohio has the ball at the 34-yard line of the midshipmen. Ohio on their first possession. Navy having scored on their first possession. The Bobcats trying to respond here. May or may not get a playoff before the end of the quarter. They do not. We pause for station identification, and when we resume play, Ohio will have possession at the Navy 32-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter, with the midshipmen leading 7-0. Following the touchdown on their opening possession. 34-yard line, the marker. It is 1st and 10 for the Bobcats.
And more football here in quarter number 2.
Ohio comes out with twin tight ends, runs it up the gut, and Alexander Godcock picks up 7 on his second carry of the game. That sets up 2nd and 3 from the 27.
Second down, and they're going to need about 3 yards to pick up the first down.
Bobcats break the huddle in the flex bone. Man in motion right to left. They give it up the gut, and he falls across the marker. Phil Ryan, the fullback, on his second carry gets a first down. Going to be 1st and 10 from the 24, and Coach Blitzkrieg, we will be sure to pass on your well wishes to the midshipman sidelines. 7:33 and counting here in the second quarter. Ohio on their opening possession after Navy scored on theirs, trails 7-0. Flexbone set. It looks like it could be a false start. A little bit of a lack of discipline there by the Ohio Bobcats works in Navy's favor. That's going to set up 1st and 15 on the left hash at Navy's 29-yard line. Bobcats desperate for points on this drive, shooting themselves in the foot.
So we'll have 1st and 15 after the penalty.
28.5 is where the ball rests as Ohio comes out in the flexbone on 1st and 15. Man in motion, quarterback tackled immediately. Nick Hudson unable to get the pitch off as the Navy defense swarms him for a loss of 2. Now 2nd and 17. And Ohio at the 30. Still possibly in field goal range, but clinging to the cliff's edge. Coming up against a stingy Navy defense. 2nd and 17 as they break the huddle, as we see the Bobcats coming out with twin tight ends. They go up the gut a little bit off kilter, a little bit to the left and then up the gut, and Godcock picks up 9. That makes it 3rd and approachable. It's going to be 3rd and 8 from the 22 here in the early parts of the second quarter of the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl, coming to you live from a beautiful Ford Field in Detroit. Navy breaks the huddle with a quarter defense. They've got 3 down linemen on 3rd and 8. Hudson back to pass. Flings it, and it's intercepted on the diving play in the end zone. Big interception. Ohio will get no points as in the end zone, the midshipman coming up with a diving pick. Midshipman now 1st and 10 at the 20. Shotgun set. Out of the backfield to Wesley Green. He picks up 2. Now going to be 2nd and 8 on the right hash. Navy territory, Navy possession, ball resting at the 22. Following the massive diving, leaping interception in the end zone, it prevented the Bobcats from getting points on their first drive as they tried to equal Navy's score on their opening possession. Navy in a shotgun wide trips. Hayes back to pass. Flings it out to Henry. Reggie Henry shows off his agility, sidesteps defenders, extends the catch, picks up an extra 15, 18 yards after the reception, and sets up Navy with a fresh set of downs in Ohio territory at the 47-yard line.
Now it's 1st and 10 with the defense trying to regroup after giving up the big pass.
Navy breaks the huddle in the shotgun split big. Reggie Hayes on the keeper. Picks up positive yards. It's a 5-yard gain. Now going to be second down, 5 yards to go. 5:14 remaining in the second quarter as Navy ahead by a score with possession of the football here in this bowl game.
Ball on the 42.
Midshipmen break the huddle. Shotgun wide trips once again. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. Machinations at the line by both teams. As Hayes takes the snap, gives it up the gut to Green. And Wesley Green picks up 80% of the yardage they needed. Now the midshipmen face 3rd and 1 to extend this drive, leading by a score halfway through the second quarter.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 1.
They call it 1, but it might be 1.5. Midshipmen breaking the huddle with the wide trips once again. Quarterback keeps it. He gets the first down. Reggie Hayes comes up with a huge 14-yard gain on 3rd down. That's going to be a 1st and 10 for the midshipmen at the Bobcats' 25-yard line as we reach the midway point of the second quarter. Each team with 1 possession. Navy now on their 2nd possession. They came up with the stop against the Bobcats on theirs. Midshipmen more than happy to let that clock melt away as they break the huddle with just 11 seconds left on the play clock. Shotgun split big for the Middies. They run it off to the left, and it's tackled for a loss, but that's for naught as Navy was tackled by way of the face mask. Reggie Hayes brought down by his irons. And that's going to cost Ohio dearly. It's now 1st and goal from the 13-yard line. Ball resting at the right hash. Navy leading by a score. No ball on the left hash. A little bit inside of the left hash, in fact. As Navy comes out in the eye tight. Up the gut to Joe Bright, and Joe Bright picks up half of what they needed, 5 key yards. Brings up 2nd and 5. 3 minutes remaining before the halftime break. Eye tight once again for Navy. The give to Bright, and he's brought down after a 2-yard gain. Now going to be 3rd down and 3 at the 6. Navy leads 7-0. We've got a little bit over 2 minutes remaining before the teams enter the locker rooms. Third and 3 as they break the huddle. The ball just inside the left hash mark. Navy with the spread set. Ohio with 3 down linemen. Back to pass goes Hayes. Looking, flings it to the left side, and he falls across the defender. Vince Richards, Captain Dependable, picks up 6 key points for the midshipmen as he falls across the paint. Vince Richards puts the points on the board for the midshipmen, leading 13-0, awaiting the extra point with 1:44 remaining in the half.
should be interesting to see what they do this time.
If they can play sound football from here out and make a few plays, there's no reason they can't get back into this.
He's tackled at the 45. That one's more than good enough for the first down.
Darrell Petty picks up 20 yards on the first play of Ohio's possession. They're trailing by 2 scores. It's just the second pass attempt for the Bobcats, as Navy has absolutely dominated time of possession. This being actually Ohio's only second possession of the ball game. They trail 14-0. They're in 2-minute drill mode for that second possession.
It's first down.
Ball at their 45. They spread the field. They've got 1:31 and counting. Hudson back to pass. Flings it over the middle to Cherry, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see who it's on. They're going to call roughing the passer on Navy's defense. That's a frustrating play for any coach. This one counts for 15 yards and stops the clock. Ohio's going to have a fresh set of downs to the Navy 31-yard line and retain all 3 timeouts.
First down, 10 yards to go.
Ball at the left hash. Ohio breaks the huddle with a shotgun set. Hudson takes the snap, surveys the field, flings it on the slant. Harris makes the 16-yard catch, and the Bobcats call timeout with 1:21 on the clock at the 15-yard line is where the ball rests. The Bobcats will have 1st and 10, still operating close to the left hash, maybe a little bit inside.
From the 15-yard line, first down.
Indeed, they're about 1.5 yards inside. They break the huddle with 2 backs in the backfield. They give up the gut to Godcock, and he breaks the tackle, finds his way into the end zone. It's the first point of the game for the Bobcats. Alexander Godcock puts 6 on the board for Ohio. Multi-year starter for the Bobcats. He was a freshman sensation 2 years ago when he came on under Coach Jocular. And he finds his way into the paint, breaks the tackle to do so. However, it does give the midshipmen 1:16 on the clock and all 3 timeouts. We'll see what Navy's able to do on their 2-minute drill upcoming. Bobcats kick the ball off. It's deep into the end zone. Navy willingly takes the touchback. They're going to have the possession of the football at their own 25-yard line when they break the huddle. 76 ticks and 3 timeouts.
They wondered if they were going to be able to move the ball against this defense, and I think right now, they seem to be
5 receivers out of the huddle. Hayes in the shotgun set. Takes the snap, drops back, scrambles to his left quickly, finds space, finds the sideline, gets tackled out of bounds after an 8-yard gain. Going to set up 2nd and 2. That clock is stopped with 70 seconds. The play took about 4 or 5 seconds. They got 8 yards.
It's 2nd down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. 5 guys will be out in the pattern.
They break the huddle. 5 receivers for the Middies. Hayes drops back, and diving reception by Vince Richards picks up the first down past the marker. Navy goes no huddle, taking advantage of the pause in play based on the first down. They're staying with 5 wide receivers. Hayes drops back, and he's sacked for an 8-yard loss. Navy smartly calls timeout.
1 minute left in the first half.
1:01, 2nd and 18.
They come out in an empty backfield.
5 wide for the Middies. Hayes takes the snap, drops, scrambles to his left, And he's brought down inside the 20. It's a loss of 9, as now Ohio calls timeout. Navy facing 3rd and 26. We'll see what they do. They break the huddle with a spread set. And it looks like Hayes might have been shaken up on the play, as Hill is in at quarterback. He drops back. And it's intercepted by Thomas at the 35. Tackled at the 22-yard line. It's the first turnover by Navy. Ohio previously having turned the ball over themselves, as Calvin Thomas, the sophomore JUCO recruit who Indiana and Syracuse competed for at middle linebacker. Calvin Thomas, the sophomore JUCO, coming up with a huge play for the Ohio Bobcats. He's a first-year starter for this Ohio defense, and he was a key get for them in a 3-way recruiting battle involving 2 users. 2nd and 10, the ball rests at the 24-yard line. There's 46 ticks on the clock, and Navy's defense hopes to stiffen. Hudson drops back. Navy brings defenders. Has defenders there ready for the pass. It's good for 4 yards to Godcock, but he's tackled short of the first, and now the clock is moving. They're going to go no huddle. Let's see how both teams respond to this situation. Hudson drops back, looks, throws to the side, and just past the marker goes Godcock on the 7-yard reception. 25 seconds remaining. Ohio with 1 timeout. Navy trying to play great red zone defense. And in the back of the end zone is Willie Cherry. He has just enough space to make the 13-yard catch with 19 seconds left. And we are an extra point away from the Bobcats tying the game. It goes between the pipes. It means we're tied at 14. And with 19 seconds left, Ohio kicks the ball back to the midshipmen. Navy will have 2 timeouts. And depending on how much time the kickoff takes, the ball goes into the paint, and Wright brings it out. Off to the left side he goes, breaks a tackle, does a spin move. And now with 13 seconds left, the Navy offense comes out on the field. We're in a tie ball game approaching halftime. We've just gotten serious word from the medical tent. We'll get to that shortly here as Navy breaks the huddle. They've got a spread set here with 13 seconds left. Hill back to pass, rolls to his right, throws it deep to the left. It's caught! Hill comes off the sideline, completes a 37-yard pass. Kasim Hill on his second attempt flings it deep on a key play. 7 seconds remaining. Navy with 2 timeouts. They can call anything they like. We'll see it's the 37-yard line. They don't need that many yards to steal 3 points. Kasim Hill brings them out of the huddle. 3 down linemen for Ohio. Hill drops back, scrambles to his left, running, 2, 1, and with 0 seconds left, runs out of bounds. We're going to pause for halftime, tied at 14. That news from the medical tent, Reggie Hayes, the senior quarterback for Navy, with a serious injury. He will not return. They have wheeled him out onto the sideline for the end of the half and back into the locker room. Reggie Hayes will deliver the halftime pep talk to his teammates from a gurney, and he will watch the second half in a comfortable and yet very uncomfortable position. His teammates vowing to do the best they can to win this football game for their leader, Reggie Hayes. It's up to his teammates. It's up to the rest of the team. It's up to the coaching staff. It's up to the locker room. They have to rally around him. They have to rally around Kasim Hill. They're going to enter the second half tied. We pause now for a moment's break.
think it is important, and the coaches, sometimes you got to break character. You know, sometimes you're a predominantly run team, and that's what you do, and you're going to line up and pound it. But sometimes you face a good defense that's playing really well that they're not going to allow you to do that. And sometimes you got to get a little bit out of character. And I think which offense or which defense can take a few chances and get rewarded for those chances. Come up on the plus side of it. Create a big turnover. Set your offense up on the right side. How about you dial up one of those trick plays you got in your bag that you haven't used in a while that you think might could work and might could maybe bust open this game and give you a little bit of separation.
Just about ready to start the second half. We're going to watch all the games around the country, including some coaches who like to sample the surface that they're playing on. I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the cafeteria. You want some turf? Some AstroTurf or anything?
Yeah, if they've got some, I'll chew on that in the second half. Here's the second half for you to chew on with Brad and Kirk.
All right, folks, we are set to get the second half underway in this tie football game. In bowl action, the final breaths of season 16 for League One. Navy trying to get their 12th win of the season and lock up a really high ranking.
time's getting a little bit tighter.
Welcome, welcome, SD.
Possession count.
We begin the second half in this tie ball game as Ohio comes out in the wing bone. Man in motion. They run to the left side. Up the gut they go. Ryan picks up 7 or 8. They'll call it 8.5, almost 9. And they award Ohio a 2nd and 1 positioning.
Short yardage situation here. It's 2nd down and 1.
Ohio comes out in the flexbone set. They give it to Ryan up the gut, and he fails to get positive yards. In fact, loses one as Jackson Perkins, the All-American, comes up with his first tackle for loss today.
So it's 3rd down. And
Big 3rd and 2 coming here. Ohio breaks the huddle with the flexbone. Navy comes out with 4 down linemen. Man in motion, give up the gut to Ryan, picks up blocks and positive yards. Good for 17, in fact. The ball now positioned on the right hash as Ohio travels into Navy territory across the logo.
From the 49-yard line, it's 1st down.
4 down linemen for Navy. Flexbone once again for Ohio. Ryan up the gut, picks up 2, but more bodies there a little bit quicker for Navy. Spell a 2-yard gain, setting up 2nd and 8 from the midshipman 47-yard line. Locked in a tight contest here in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl in Detroit, Michigan. 14-14 the score right now. Flexbone for Ohio. Ryan again up the gut. More and more midshipmen finding their way into the heart of the field. That's where the plays are going right now. And now they've created a 3rd and long. Four down lineman for the middies. Shotgun set for Ohio. Hudson back to pass. Looks. Takes off. He's got the 1st down and more. And it's a 17-yard gain by Nick Hudson up the heart of the defense. He was able to find running room, his offensive line getting in the way enough to break him free. And Ohio continues to drive the ball down the field. Ball now at the 30-yard line of the midshipmen. Ohio with possession.
From the 30-yard line, 1st down.
A little bit inside the right hash is where the ball rests. Ohio under center. Gives to Godcock. He hurdles the defender, falls forward, and picks up 9 along the way. Now going to be 2nd and 1 from the 21.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
Both teams close in yardage, tied in points. We're in the second half today. Ohio in a flexbone. Man in motion. The give to Ryan. He's got room to the left side. Picks up a healthy 16 yards. And now it's going to be 1st and goal for the Bobcats. The ball resting on the left hash. As Ryan places it inside the 5. Looks to be at about the 3.5-yard line. Although they'll call it the 5, in fact. 1st and goal from the 5 on the left hash is where we'll pick up play following that big run by Ryan on the triple option.
1st down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line.
Navy comes out with heavy bodies. They're in the goal line set. They give up. They got to Godcock. Midshipman defense was ready for it. They hold him to a 3-yard gain. Still out of the end zone. Something to work with. Facing 2nd and 2 from the 2.
From the 2-yard line.
Midshipman defense hoping to stiffen. Ohio comes out with 2 backs. Runs the option, flicks it out to Godcock, and Alexander Godcock picks up 6 points for Ohio. The Bobcats leading 20-14, awaiting the extra point, following a 10-play, 72-yard drive that took about 3 minutes plus off the clock. Navy's going to retain possession with 4 and plenty of change, trailing by 7. The game was tied with Navy having received the opening kickoff and Ohio having their first shot and taking it down the field. Navy hopes to do the same here in the middle of the 3rd quarter.
This deficit can be easily overcome, sure. But they have to be
Navy breaks the huddle with multiple receivers. Ohio responding with a dollar 3-2-6. Hill back to pass.
Son of a bitch.
And it's intercepted by Bush. Bush off and running into the end zone. Chaz Bush, the strong safety, picks off the pass and takes it into the paint. Ohio leads by 2 scores. We have 12 minutes and 39 seconds on the clock.
looks like he's ready to kick this one off. He kicks it off, and he got all of that one. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchdown.
Still 4 and change remaining here in the third quarter as Navy takes possession. They trail by 2, hoping to pull within 1 here in the third quarter. Shotgun set up for the midshipman. 3-3-5 for Ohio. Hill back to pass. Finds Green out of the backfield for the first play of the drive. It's good for 4 yards out to the right flat. Picks up 2nd and 6 for the midshipman. As they now come out in the eye tight. Trying to convert a first down and get some momentum on this drive. They need points here, and don't they know it. Play action pass by Hill. Flings it to Bray, and Bray picks up a key first down.
Well, we get a new quarterback in there. You have to wonder not only how will he do, but what does this do?
Going to be a fresh set of downs for the midshipman. Charles Bray with his first catch of the day. Still not quite yet halfway through the third. Midshipmen facing 1st and 10 on their own 38. They trail by 2 scores.
First down, 10 to go.
We're here in the third quarter. Both teams almost equal in first downs. Shotgun, single back set for the midshipmen. Hill drops back and finds Green out of the backfield. Good for another 4 yards on first down. That brings up 2nd and 6 on this set of downs once again. Back-to-back 2nd and 6s for the midshipmen.
It's 2nd down, 6.
Right hash is where the ball rests. Navy breaks the huddle with twin tight ends and twin halfbacks. 3-3-5 defense for Ohio. Hill laterals it perfectly timed to Green. He's off and running. Spin move beats one defender, and the second one brings him down, but not before he gets the ball all the way down inside Ohio's 20-yard line. Navy setting up shop in the red zone on the ensuing play. Navy takes a breath. They break the huddle with 1st and 10. Ball at the 20. Twin tight end set for the midshipmen. 4 down lineman. Check that 3 for Ohio. Hill drops back and flings it to Bray. Looks like it might be a face mask on the play. Indeed it is. That's going to be half the distance to the goal line. Going to be 1st and goal from the 8 for Navy. 2:46 on the clock here in the 3rd as the midshipmen now have an opportunity to draw closer. Twin tight ends, shotgun set. 3 down lineman for Ohio. Quarterback keeper, Hill off to the right side, and there is plenty of room to run. He finds his way into the end zone. Kasim Hill starting to get heated up a little bit maybe with the touchdown rushing, pulling Navy to within 7, awaiting the extra point. We're still well in the 3rd quarter. There's 2:25 on the clock as the midshipman special teams unit out onto the field to put the point on the board and draw within 7. 2:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter as Ohio will receive. Rawls puts it up and deep. No one's touching that one. It goes between the pipes, in fact. And Ohio will take over at their own 25. Punch and counterpunch between these two offensive units. Key possession here for both teams. Ohio breaks the huddle in a wing bone set. Runs to the left side. Quarterback keeper Hudson breaks a tackle and finds his way down the field for 11 on the first play. Good enough for a 1st down. Ball now at the 36-yard line. Bobcats lead by 7. Ball now on the left hash. Navy breaks the huddle with 4 down linemen. Ohio, for their part, in a flex bone. Option to the right side. Ryan on the keeper. The fullback give. Picks up 5. Now going to be 2nd and 5 as we approach the 2-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Bobcats showing 2 halfbacks, a fullback, a wide receiver, a tight end. A little bit of everything out there. Kind of a Jackson Pollock huddle.
It's 2nd down.
Looks like a flex bone of some kind. Men in motion. They run to the right, and there are defenders there enough to keep him short of the 1st down, although he does pick up 2. Now going to be 3rd down, 3 yards to go for the defense. Ohio breaks the huddle with the quarterback and 2 backs. They run the option to the right, and the ball is loose. Ohio lucky to recover. Navy all over that option play. They had defenders everywhere. They were ready for any permutation. Ohio looking to have multiple options on that play, and Navy had them all covered. The only thing that Ohio covered was the football. They were lucky to do so. A result of that means they're punting instead of defending on their own half of the field. The ball towards the sideline. Navy receives it inside the 10 and takes it near the 20. It'll be a 6-yard return. 51 seconds on the clock. We have a 7-point ball game as Navy will take over at their own 20.
There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense.
Ball resting on the left hash. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats. 51 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Shotgun wide trips for Navy. Back to pass goes Hill. Hill finds McKinley on the drag route over the middle. Good for 6 yards. Now going to be 2nd and 4. The clock now in motion. Once again, Reggie Hayes, the longtime starter for Navy. Now in a hospital bed, Gurney on the sidelines, watching his team, watching Kasim Hill, cheering him on. There's Hayes with the headset. Hill on the keeper, picks up a loss of 1, might be the final play of the 3rd quarter. But Reggie Hayes, a presence there on the sideline, cheering his teammates on. That'll do it for the 3rd quarter. We have a 1-score game. Navy breaks the huddle on 3rd and 5. Shotgun set. Kasim Hill in the backfield. He takes the snap. Flings it over the middle field. Richards unable to hang on. Vince Richards, normally reliable, unable to make that particular catch. It results in a 4th and 5 at the Navy 25. And it means the midshipmen are going to have to lean on that defense one more time here in the 4th quarter. Leon, I believe it was a hip injury, to be specific. Broken collarbone, actually, I'm getting from the Navy medical staff. Broken collarbone. Reggie Hayes unable to continue. A sudden and unexpected test for the Navy coaching staff. Ohio breaks the huddle in a flex bone set. Navy with 4 down linemen. Nick Hudson under center for the Bobcats. Man in motion left to right. Hudson flings it out to Ryan. Phil Ryan, the fullback, on the motion play, picks up 7 to the outside. The fullback getting an opportunity to run the ball to the outside, something you don't see from too many teams. Ohio employing it there to good effect for 7 yards. Not going to be 2nd and 3 from the 38. 7.5 minutes left in the ball game. 4 down linemen for the midshipmen. Wing bone set for Ohio. Man in motion. Give up the gut. Ryan, the fullback, picks up 5. That's good enough for the 1st down. And Ohio continues to march the ball forwards out to their own 43-yard line. 7:23 on the clock here in regulation. We're in the 4th quarter here, coming to you live from Detroit, Michigan. Ford Field, the home of the Detroit Lions, for the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl here at the conclusion of Season 16 of League 1 action. Ohio up the gut to Godcock, picks up 5. We'll remind our viewers that the Bobcats were built up by a user. Coach Doc Jocular did an excellent job in recruiting, bringing in a lot of quality players, and you see them on the field as Ohio has continued to be a bowl quality team since his retirement 2 seasons ago. Ohio giving Navy everything they could possibly ask for. 2 backs in the backfield. Godcock makes an excellent cut. That was a nasty cut, a counter cut by Godcock against the flow of the defenders. Able to turn that into much more positive yards. And Navy now trying to throw the kitchen sink and stop the flow of this Ohio drive as the Bobcats have the ball and the lead. 39-yard line, just barely outside of field goal range. Flexbone set, man in motion. Misdirection play, but Navy's ready for it. They stop him for no gain. Julian Ross, no gain on the play as Ronnie Hampton swallowed him up at the line of scrimmage. Now going to be second down, 10 yards to go. Ball still at the 39-yard line. 6:24 on the clock. There's a lot of chapters left to be written in that amount of time. 4 down lineman for Navy. 2nd and 10 for Ohio. Flexbone once again. The give to Ryan up the gut, and Ryan picks up 7. Now going to be 3rd and 3. It's a big 3rd and 3 for the Navy defense. They need a stop here. Ohio comes out once again in the flexbone. The give and the stop. Phil Ryan swallowed it up, absolutely demolished by the Navy defense. They were ready for that one. Multiple defenders on the scene. It's a loss of 1, and the ball at the 33 at 4th and 4. This is a long attempt. We'll see what happens here as Ohio leads by 7. There's over 5 minutes remaining. Navy honoring the attempt in their own special teams unit. The kick is up and good. That means it's a 2-score lead. That means Navy still fighting the clock, but able to hold them to a field goal. That opens up all sorts of possibilities following a potential Navy touchdown.
The finish line's in sight. Let's see who wants this one more.
Now is when you have to get the ball.
The most important thing is that they do it quickly, but they still have to do it. 25-yard line, the marker, 5:24 on the clock. Navy breaks the huddle on the spread set. Hill drops back. Dumps it to Green over the middle. Green picks up quality yards. It's 5 yards. Now going to be 2nd and 5. The big news today, of course, Reggie Hayes, the starting quarterback for Navy, out with a broken collarbone. That occurred in the 2nd quarter. And Hill heroically trying to will his way to what would be fantastic spot duty as the backup quarterback for the midshipmen.
1st and 10. Ball on the 36.
Just inside the 5-minute mark now as we see a fresh set of downs for the midshipmen. They come out with twin tight ends. Cassine Hill under center. Play action pass. Flings it and complete to Reggie Henry. Had decent coverage, but Henry able to make the catch and get out of bounds beyond the 1st down marker. The clock's still running because we're outside the 2-minute mark. It's only the 2-minute mark where getting out of bounds stops the clock. However, it still avoids contact and, of course, gives your offensive player one more extra play and a half with some freshness. 7-yard gain by Green, catching the defense off guard. Navy happy to take the positive gain, get a chance at getting another quick set of downs. Facing 2nd and 3 now. Quarterback keeps it, and Hill picks up a half-yard gain. They'll call it no gain. We now see 3rd and 3. We're at the midway point of the 4th quarter. It's a big 3rd and 3 for Navy. They need this one to maintain their stance. They break the huddle. They've got multiple receivers. Ohio with 3 down linemen. Back to pass goes Hill. Finds his man over the middle. Richards, Vince Richards, all he does is get first downs. That was a key one there on the 4-yard catch, his 6th catch of the day. He's got a touchdown as well. 3:40 on the clock. Navy continuing to move the ball. Sticking with 5 receivers. Hill rolls to his left and throws it to Richards on a rope, a 34-yard gain. Richards broke open late. Hill bought time rolling out to the left. You don't see that type of fling from Navy that often. They're glad to see that one work. And now with 3:31, that play sets them up having saved a little bit of time with the ball at the 6.5-yard line. Twin tight ends for the midshipmen. Hill drops back and throws it out to Bray. Bray breaks a tackle, falls forward, picks up 5 of the 6. The ball now resting at the 1-yard line. Navy hurries up. They want to get this over with as quickly as possible. Up the gut they go. Bright finds his way into pay dirt. 6 points. Put it on the board. Navy trails by 4. The extra point will make it 3 with 3 remaining and 3 timeouts for both teams.
Just give it to your main man anytime you're near the goal line.
The draw within a field goal. And he hits the PAT. So a 9-play, 5-yard
drive. 31-28 the score as Ohio takes possession of the football at their own 25-yard line with exactly 3 minutes on the clock. Both teams possessing exactly 3 timeouts. Ohio would like nothing better than to melt the time off the clock. Navy needs the football once again. Flexbone and Ryan met by multiple Navy defenders. It's a loss of 2. Looks like Navy's going to wait to call the timeout. Probably the smart call. There's still lots of time left. Should Ohio be able to convert the first down, Navy will be glad they held on to that timeout. As it stands, it's 2nd and 12. And I think everybody in the building knows what Ohio wants to do here.
3-yard line. Second down.
Indeed, they line up in a power set. They're going to take all the time. This broadcaster can promise you they'll snap it at 2 on the play clock. The give to Ryan. Ryan picks up 4 on the fullback give. That's going to set up 3rd and 8. And a timeout by Navy means they'll be able to have rested personnel in exactly the setup they want here for this 3rd and 8. They trail by 3, desperately trying to get possession of the football back.
Their own 27-yard line. 3rd down.
Hudson drops back. Looks, flings it over the middle of the field, caught by Harris. Brevin Harris makes the 30-yard catch with 2:07 remaining. And now Navy, having saved the timeout on the previous set of downs, they're going to have the ball snapped at exactly 2 seconds. Everyone knows what Ohio's going to do. Navy's going to have to stop them here on this set of downs. They're going to have to combat a strong Ohio running game. The clock ticks down, and they do snap the ball a little early. And Ryan breaks tackles. Ryan, 23-yard key run up the gut. Phil Ryan forces Navy to call timeout. And now we're talking about math. Navy still with 1 timeout, still might have an opportunity here. If they can get a stop, force a field goal attempt. They get the quick tackle for loss. That play only took about 3 or 4 seconds. Navy smartly calls their final timeout. Now 2nd and 11, 1:36 on the clock. We'll see what Ohio lines up in here on 2nd and 11 from the 21. They've got a power set. Navy appears ready for it. Up the gut they go. 7-yard run by Godcock. Now the clock moving here on 3rd down. Big 3rd down here. Navy absolutely has to get a stop. Ohio would love a first down. That'll ice the game. if Navy can get a stop and they can hold Ohio to a field goal attempt, they still have a chance. 3rd and 4 here for the ball game. Ohio happy to take their time. Hudson almost sacked, caught, and tackled at the 1-yard line is Brevin Harris. And he is short of the end zone, but it looks like Ohio is going to come out in the quarterback kneel formation. The wise decision, and they will take the 3-point win. The Navy midshipmen fall 31-28 in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl to the Ohio Bobcats in a close-fought affair. The midshipmen coming up just shy. It was one of those games where it might have been one of those 51-49 percentage games. And as it stands, Ohio comes out barely ahead. The pick six, the big play of the game, that put Ohio out to a lead that Navy had to fight against. They've fought valiantly indeed against it. But when it was all said and done, the Bobcats able to hang on desperately and come away with a very close win in this bowl game. Alexander Godcock, the player of the game, with 94 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and 2 catches for 11 yards, getting him over the 100-yard mark. And what was really a defensive slugfest. This was if this were 2 boxers, this was a bunch of body shots. And as it turns out, Ohio happy to get the ugly win. 31-28, the final score. Ohio escapes with the win. That likely means that Navy will fall out of the rankings at the end of the season. However, huge progress this season by Navy, ripping off 11 wins this year. By far their highest total under Coach Ninja. That does it for the first 2 games of tonight's action. We thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this doubleheader, and thank you for enjoying this long broadcast of what has been an exciting finish to season 16, as we witnessed 2 games, both decided by 3 points. 2 games, both balanced on a razor's edge. We don't know what the future holds for Coach Ninja. We don't know what job opportunities may arise. This broadcaster did happen to notice that Southern Miss indeed beat Nebraska in the bowl game. No telling what is in store in the future for Coach Ninja, but an outstanding season in season 16 for the midshipmen, ripping off 11 wins, finishing the season 11-3, conference champions, wearing the conference title for the first time under Coach Ninja's leadership. The Navy midshipmen, this year's American Conference champions. And a bright future, perhaps, for Navy, but certainly a bright future for Coach Ninja. Once again, we thank you for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this broadcast. We hope you have an excellent week this next week. Kick its ass.